it isn't the most remarkable plant for now, but it has the most beautiful shiny like plasticky leaves, and they look just phenomenal. I really like this plant. This is a coffee, by the way. We're going to talk more about that later because I have some ideas what to do with it. Speaking of which, I wanted to do an update on my hydroponic pepper. This one has been going for, I think I made the last video about this, the video that I actually put the pepper in. And it was yay high. I think it was 3 weeks ago or something, 2, 3, 4 weeks, somewhere in there. And yeah, it is growing like a madman. I wasn't expecting that. Well, I was expecting it to grow good, but this was my first setup. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is my first time doing hydroponics, so I didn't expect the plant to... I was even thinking that I might just lose the plant because I don't know what I'm doing. But that's not the case. It's growing phenomenally, and it looks healthy. I really like the color, and there's the weird thing is that I'm growing it in water, but it has no sign of having issues with water. It's just not overwatering. It doesn't show sign of overwatering, and that's weird when you're growing in water. So it's probably all about how the plant are able to draw in the amount of oxygen from my air pump, and that the water is not all the way to the top or to the base of the plant. It's a little further down, and that's probably the reason why. So but it's I told you that I wanted to do this. People have been asking me to do a hydroponic setup, and for the longest time I've been just not... I just wasn't interested in doing it. I don't know why, but it just didn't... I think it was all about my passion for growing in soil. I love soil. I love how I could just start the environment of the soil and grow things, and have tiny mushrooms pop up here and there when you're doing organic fertilizers and compost and everything. And growing in water just felt like a strange thing for me, and it still is, and it will probably always be. But the thing is that when you're growing hydroponic like this, you really get to experience the plant itself, and how you can grow it fast and thick and healthy. Just like, take a look at these leaves. They are enormous. And I've had enormous leaves on my indoor peppers before, but nothing at the growing rate that this one has. And it's doing okay. I think it has a few roots. The water level has sunk down, maybe like this. So up here it is dry, and it's actually starting to brown a little bit. But I'm going to change the water now. That's, by the way, the idea of this video is just changing water on this one, and hopefully it will look more healthy further down the road when it puts out more roots even. But I wanted to just, it's nothing special about this plant. I'm going to prune it a little bit here and there, but that's not something that we're going to take a too close look at this time. If I'm going to do a pruning video, I'm going to set up and just do purely a pruning video. That was kind of hard. But yeah, for those of you who are following me, you know that that's probably not going to be the whole kind of deal. I'm sweating today, and that the reason is here. So now hold on, I'm not going to do as bad of a setup as you're thinking right now. This is for a new project, and you might have guessed it from the coffee tree. I'm going to try to transplant my cocoa tree into this hydroponic system. And I don't know if that's possible or if coffee likes growing in water. I have no idea. It grows in the tropics, so it should be familiar with the humidity. But that's something that I'm going to do, or we are going to do a little bit after I'm finished with this one. The last barrel, these are all filled with more water. I didn't want to hold you in the chair for the time it took me to fill these. But this one is just going to be my replacement tank. So I'm thinking that I'm going to fill it up like this, mix nutrients, and just move whatever plant is in need of nutrient change. I'm going to just switch it over, and then I have the time. I could take as long as I want cleaning this barrel out and just make sure that everything is clean and ready set up before moving into the next cycle again. So I got this one, and I'm going to run 2 hydroponic systems now, hopefully, if it doesn't die. If it dies, I'm going to change it out with something else. I have some other ideas. I was thinking mango. What other things? I was definitely thinking about mango. I was thinking about fusing several peppers together. There's just too many creative things we could try. If you have any ideas on what I should try to grow hydroponically, that I would like to get ideas on something a little bit far out, things that are not the normal thing. This is the most normal thing you can grow in a hydroponic system, but I'm going to experiment with other things. So today, the only thing that's going to be done is moving this coffee into this one, and I'm going to fill this one with nutrients and change out the water on this one. That's not something that is going to be too exciting. So what I'm going to do is fill this with, I'm going to use 40 milliliter of each of these. I think it's 5 milliliter for 1 gallon, and this one is 8 gallon. So I'm normally on the liter system, which is 30 liter for these barrels. But this one is, it's just written here in gallons, so I converted it to make sure that I mixed the right amount. And it looks like that was kind of what it was needing on this plant. And it definitely doesn't have any burn at all, so I probably could juice it up a little bit, but I'm not going to because it's growing as fast as I would ever need it to do. So I'm going to do this, and I'm gonna pause the video, and I'm going to get back to you with this setup after I'm completed with these ones. And that was it. It's moved over now, and it has a lot of new healthy water with nutrients, and it's going to do just fine. I accidentally just mixed the nutrients in on this one also for the next project. But that's okay, you've seen me do it before, and I'm probably going to do it some more times. I have this digital pH thermometer, and I'm going to measure now. I know for a fact I didn't test it now before I moved it in or put in the nutrients, but I've checked it several times, and our tap water here is exactly 7 pH. And I'm measuring it now to see what it's actually at now that I mixed the nutrients in. And it's showing 6.4. So it's probably a little bit high, but I'm not going to bother too much about it now. I have some pH down that I could use, but then I would have to be a little bit careful. People are telling me that it's really easy to overcompensate with the pH, and yeah, I'm not going to risk it. And I don't know what the coffee want. Coffee might need some acidic soil. They're growing around coffee, so they might like some acidic soil, and I might need to put some pH down on this one. I'm not sure. I'm just sitting here looking down, but I could just put it here so we could all enjoy it. I don't know. I might need to use some pH down. If any of you have ever tried to grow coffee hydroponically, you could tell me. Or if you know of somebody that knows how to do it, then I'll just take that input. I'm not so sure. So what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm just gonna find the netting cup first. The cup that I'm going to place it in, it's a fairly big one, but I wanted to be able to grow to whatever size it's going to go to. And the other thing, I was thinking, I might just put a rock wool cube around the stem. I'm not sure if that's necessary or if there's any need for it at all. But I have some rock wool cubes, and I have it around the pepper. And it might be an idea. I'm going to using this clay pebbles that I have, the same as I used for the pepper. And I was thinking that I might just wrap the stem around this one and just put pebbles in. And I might need to also cut some holes into the bottom of this to make sure that the taproot have access to the water. But that all depends on what it looks like once we're getting down into the nitty-gritty of the plant. It is kind of heavy because I watered it today, so it might be a little bit loose here. Let me just see if I could get it out in one piece. Wow, nice. It has some beautiful root system here. And I was going to get all the dirt out and hose it off. But my water pump, the one that I use up here, because I have an external tank that I use, and I pump water from our main house over to my 200-liter tank up here. And then I have a pump to have water pressure in the hose that I just use. You have seen it several times if you follow me. And this darn thing just broke today. I was filling one of the barrels and suddenly it just stopped. And there was no magic smoke or anything. It just died on me. It didn't want to do whatever I was doing. So yeah, we'll just have to... I'm thinking I could wash this in this one. That's my genius idea. I was thinking that, well, I have a container full of water that I'm going to throw out anyway, so I might be able to get away with just rinsing my coffee tree inside that container. There are a few bits and pieces stuck here already, but I don't care. They will eventually drop off and just fall to the bottom of the barrel. And every 3 weeks when I do my water change, it's going to do just fine. I'm going to try to figure out how to do this, and I think I'm going to pause the video. I might just need to cut a few holes. I did manage to get a few of the roots down through. It was a little bit of a hassle, but I think it's going to be just fine. It's going to grow longer roots once it gets into the water, and it's not going to be a big issue at all. I still think I'm going to place my rock wool around it just to make sure that I have something to hold it in place a little bit in shape. And that's just because I'm going to place this plant only in those pebbles, and the pebbles are not going to be very good support. So yeah, we'll just have to see how this works. I'm going to try to fill in with pebbles. I pre-washed these because When you buy pebbles at the store, they tend to be really, really dirty. And I'm thinking that if I'm placing them in a hydroponic system like this, I would like the system to be as clean as possible. I think that's gonna be a huge benefit for the plant and for the system. I don't want to get something that is too messy. So I'm just going to finish this up. Like this. Now I have my plant in pebbles and it looks nice. I like it. I'm expecting this plant to go through a huge shock. This one is not at all used to this type of growing environment. So this is, by the way, a 130 millimeter netting cup. It was the largest one that I found at the hydroponic store where I got this. And I just wanted one because I was thinking, I might just grow a tree someday. And here we are 3 weeks later. So, like this, and hopefully that's going to be enough. I'm of course going to use water air. I'm going to use air in this system, of course, also. This is also going to be a DWC growing method. And my air pump, the Eheim air pump that I have 2 outlets. So it's going to support 200 liter of air an hour, I think. Yeah, 200 liter of air an hour to each barrel. And for now, I have been running the pump on with both pipes into one barrel, the one with the pepper, and it's been going at half rate. So it's not going to get less air now that I'm switching one of the sides over, because I am going to reduce or to speed up the pump and get the full 200 liter out from each pipe. Drop it like it's hot, and let's see this thing growing. I am super excited about this. If this is going to work, it's going to be a really, really challenging system for me, because a coffee tree will take several years before they set fruit, at least indoors. And I always think of that as my goal. That's what I really want. I'm satisfied when that's a thing, but I just love growing it. It's the journey. Once I get it to fruit, I'm probably gonna be less interested in the whole thing. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can, and if it's not going to survive, I have a spare, and if that one is not going to survive, I'm going to try something else. I might just try something else if it doesn't work out. Anyway, this is Christopher saying may the force be with you. This was a long video, but a fun one. And I can't wait to see how these things go. If there is anything that you would like me to make a video about concerning these things, and if there's anything special that you want me to try, I'm slowly thinking of shifting the focus a little bit in the grow room here, and I've been thinking about I'm already planning ahead for next season, because it's near the end of this season indoor, and for next season, when it comes to the autumn time and I'm going to reshift my focus into the grow room, I'm thinking about doing hydroponic on this side all the way, just use barrels like these, and have several barrels going, and just have like a hydroponic section. And from this side and all the way over there, I'm thinking about growing in soil. Let me know if that is an interesting thing. I would like to grow things in soil and in hydroponic and compare them. And I'm of course going to grow things that I could eat in hydroponic if that's the way I'm heading. And I'm going to compare the taste and other things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Christopher saying may the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Then it's time to move these things. Oh my god, they're so heavy.